Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Joe and Mike Show with Clay. Woo. How's everybody doing?
You're not going to introduce me?
Why the fuck do I need to?
Well, I had something witty to say, and you just completely you go with Clay.
Woody, like
What's
stiffer
the name
than a
of the
preacher's
show?
dick.
I don't care. I want acknowledgement.
What's the name of the show?
Dickhead?
Yes, you are, but what's the name of the show?
It's the Joe and Mike Show,
Yeah, so I
featuring
acknowledge
Dorothy
you.
from the Wizard of Oz.
Shut the hell up.
Hi, my name is Joe, and I suffer from fat pubis.
Yes, you do. Fat pubis.
Yes. There's more there, I swear. It's just hidden. That's
Is
all.
there?
Yes.
I'm sure there is.
It's like a present. You just got to peel it back.
Sound like a D-note.
It's new equipment night.
Yes, we got the new microphones.
No, this is not.
And they have the symbol of the Deathly Hollows on them.
They do, yeah.
That is funny looking. So,
I got a limp noodle on this.
as I'm driving up here, I see that there's the Adopt a Highway signs, right? And I don't normally notice them unless there's a name on them that stands out, like Big Boob Babes of the West or some shit, right?
Right.
But this time I saw it, and emblem and colorful red emblem and everything, it said Coors. And I just started laughing my ass off because I'm like thinking Adopt a Highway sponsored by Coors is kind of like the Cancer Wing being sponsored by Philip Morris or some shit. It's fucking hilarious to me.
Oh my god! It's like safe sex sponsored by Charlie Sheen.
By the Catholic Church. The Catholic Priest Association, the Archdiocese.
Why is that a big deal with the Coors thing?
It just made me laugh.
I'm trying to find the
Because I instantly
correlation.
found, for lack of a better term, irony in there. It's just funny because immediately when I think of alcohol mixing with a highway, I think of drunk driving instantly. That's the first place my mind goes. And
right,
so,
but it's a cleanup. I mean, I could understand if it were like Garbage Town, USA, or whatever recycling plant there is in here in California. But
it just made me instantly laugh because that's where my mind went right when I saw it.
nice.
Sleep Aid brought to you by methamphetamines.
Yeah.
No dose.
So much more than just a breakfast drink.
Sleep Aid brought to you by cocaine.
All right.
Eventually, you will pass out. It might take a few days, but you'll
Brazil's
get
#1 export.
All right, where are we going with this one?
there. We're just
I
going.
don't know. What did you guys watch this week?
Did you finish that movie, that shitty movie you said you were going to finish? Or?
Roxy and
Bullwinkle?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Every time I thought about it, I would think of Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Oh, God.
So
I
like,
love
why
that
is
movie.
Clay
That
watching
movie-
fucking Romy and
That's
Michelle?
one of those movies that I wanted it to be great, and then I was disappointed the 2 times I gave it a chance. Like, the only thing cool about it,
2 times.
the
Fuck this first time. I only got like 20 minutes
The
into
only
it.
thing I can remember about it was the rich nerd guy at the end who shows up in a helicopter or some shit, and
John Lovitz.
he pretty much like ex machina's the day for them. And then the other thing was that Mira Sorvino's character is a receptionist at a car dealership, and I totally understood what was going on there because I've seen it firsthand. Like all the guys that keep hitting on her, it's like, dude, that's the dealership, straight up.
Anything that looks remotely good, a 4 on a 10 scale will get hit.
Oh yeah, as long as she doesn't have like a wart on her face with hair coming out, like she's from like deep Russia.
No.
No. Pre-Soviet collapse.
Nope. Anything that
There will be some, you know what? There will be some lonely technician or something that would
anything.
He would see the beauty in that. So.
As long as it's got a vag. Nice gash.
As long as there's a wet spot.
Yes.
All right, so here's the bad part.
Can I put my penis in it? I'm gonna go hit on it.
Slip and slide.
I jump into Vincent and Roxy, and I'm all excited, because I'd been up here with you guys, and I'm like, I'm going to take this really fucking seriously, right? I get my notepad out, I start watching it, and I'm like, I'm not going to go look at a review of this. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try to chop this up from an intellectual level. Within 20 minutes, I was like, this movie's a piece of shit.
Some movies are not deserving of over-analysis.
Yeah.
Some are just like, it's a piece of shit. It's like they should be paying you to watch it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So the heartbreak of it is it's got Hirsch, and it's got Zoe Kravitz.
Emil Hirsch.
Emil Hirsch is
Thank you for the first name. I was afraid to try it.
Emil Hirsch is he's like a better Jared Leto. He can do some roles, some weird characters. He doesn't get as creepy like Jared Leto gets.
Right.
But he picks odd roles. There's times where he seems like a regular guy, and then there's times where he just plays these characters that I don't know if you'd ever run into them in real life. Or maybe you would, but you wouldn't have the long conversation with them before turning around and walking away. Like Into the Wild, which is based on a real character, real person. That was a really good movie.
I agree with you.
I can't remember how good Emil Hirsch was in it. I'm pretty sure he was actually really good, but also the supporting cast around him, every person he interacted with on his journey.
Yes. No, I did watch that, and I did enjoy it, and I did feel like he absolutely pulled it off 100%.
That movie actually made me appreciate Eddie Vedder as a musician because he does the entire soundtrack for that movie.
Yeah.
And it fit with the movie. It's not like something I'd want to listen to outside of the movie, but watching it, it flowed so well.
And I agree with you. And the songs were different than he normally does. There's like a little different feel because normally, like, and I've joked about this a lot on Facebook before, like Hell to me is I'm strapped in a chair and they're making me listen to Pearl Jam for like the rest of all eternity.
Yeah, Pearl Jam's just one of those bands. Just like how when you brought up Rush on the Messenger, it's one of those bands where I can appreciate the artistic talent, creativity to it, but it's just not my thing.
Not for me.
It's just not at all.
It happens.
It just doesn't do it for me. But I respect it. Yeah. It's not like, oh, they're a piece of shit.
I feel the same way about Soundgarden. They're great musicians.
Yeah.
Soundgarden, and then they did that one-off thing, Temple of the Dog. And then they did, and then you have Alice in Chains. I like Alice in Chains a little bit better, but again, I can only take so much.
I was like that with STP. I can't
stand them.
I thought that they were overrated, even though they were really talented, and they came out with a lot of songs that were very different from each other.
Yeah,
like I know this is a poor comparison, but I'm going to use it anyway because it's easy. How AC/DC has a lot of similarities between each song, or at least every mainstream song that they play.
Writes the same goddamn song every time.
Yeah, so. But at least they fucking rock, dude. They understand the fan base. They understand what to do, and they just stick with that formula, and it works, right?
Right.
But when it STP, they could have a different sounding song all the time. Like say Pink Floyd. If you go through a whole gamut of Pink Floyd stuff, they had so many songs that were different from each other. Mm-hmm. There were a couple that were very similar, but I could still respect the fact that they could do different than just the same old predictable stuff that you think they'd do.
Absolutely.
So just some bands weren't for me. I wasn't into the whole grunge thing though. So
no, because it killed metal for me.
Yeah, because it's like emo depressed, right? You go from cocaine and hot rods and bitches, girls. You go from that to I'm sad in my cloudy state.
Absolutely fucking right.
Would someone smack me awake?
Yeah.
But there's still some talent to find in that too as well. It's just you got to sift through it. It's like you want to see a guy wearing one of those what are those weird Mexican wool looking hoodie jackets that you used to be able to buy at the flea market? They look really scratchy.
Ponchos.
It was like a poncho hoodie kind of thing. Those ugly things look like a rug, more like than actual.
Clint Eastwood wore one. How dare you?
Well, at least his had the sides open so he could pull his, grab his gat, and
his gat,
and
his gat.
I just watched Hang 'Em High today, all the way through for the first time.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
let's get
bringing up Clint Eastwood.
Why?
Nice.
Why?
That's interesting. I think because there were certain things I wasn't interested in checking out growing up because my grandma watched Westerns all the time.
I think he was asking why now.
Why did I watch?
No, I want to know why.
Because there's things that I haven't seen that for me to call myself a movie buff, I can't just, there's certain classics that you have to see. Like I finally saw Casablanca for the first time about 2 months ago. I found it available and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Casablanca because I've never seen it. How can I say I'm a movie guy and I haven't seen, I knew like half of the lines from the film and I'd never seen it, because that's like one of the most quoted films of all time, right?
I watched Casablanca at school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of forced on you,
Yeah.
And okay, fine, whatever. I'll just fucking watch it. But unpopular opinion, I don't care for the movie.
You know what?
I think it's a great premise. Don't get me wrong for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought most of the acting was just kind of meh.
I've had movies where it's been blown up for decades and I finally see it and I'm like, well, what's the big deal? Casablanca was a surprise to me. I didn't expect it to be as good as people blew it up to be. And I actually enjoyed every single part of that film. I enjoyed the acting, the writing, the storytelling, just the scene to scene cuts. It just was so crisp and everything flowed. I had no problem with it. Peter Lorre only has like maybe about 3 minutes in the entire film,
which is a shame.
and he nails it. He kills it. Like I keep waiting for him to come back. And they're like, oh, he died.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But
I was gonna scratch at it and say Cary Grant or somebody's in that.
it's Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart. Okay.
Lauren
How do you like your
Bacall?
whiskey?
No,
in a
I think it's
glass?
Ingrid Bergman.
Ingrid Bergman, huh? Why
Yeah.
would I think Lauren Bacall? What the fuck is wrong with me?
I mean, she's been in some shit. I think she was in. I think was one of Bogart's wives. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, I was surprised that movie wasn't bad. Also, I saw Streetcar Named Desire for the first time with Brando, and that wasn't bad. You could tell though when you watch it that it was based on a stage play, even though I already knew it was. Watching it, you could just tell by the way it ran through, and you could tell that these were actors that had done these characters multiple times. Mm-hmm. Especially the actress who played Blanche Dubois. Oh my God, she owned that role.
Claude Rains was in it. Claude Rains was in Casablanca.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually liked it, but there was I watched, what was it, The Wild Bunch. I didn't like The Wild Bunch at all. I thought that movie sucked ass. Like, I mean, it's well shot, cinematography wise. But when you have a film with shitty characters who have no redemptive quality at all, how am I gonna just care about going on this journey with them? There was like no one I rooted for.
All right, tell us who's in that one.
Ernest Borgnine. All I can remember is Ernest Borgnine being in
Robert
there.
Ryan.
And I didn't even root for Ernest Borgnine in that shit.
Warren Oates.
William Holden. Yeah.
William Holden.
They're all just bad guys. They're just...
Strother Martin. He was, is that?
That guy's a wide mouth. He looked like he could take some fucking DP.
To the face.
Yeah. So yeah, The Wild Bunch, just I didn't care for it. I watched it all the way through too, and it has like this Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid kind of ending. And
tell me why you're digging into the past all of a sudden.
Like I said, it's the I mean, besides the nostalgia, also sometimes watching westerns reminds me of my grandmother, because she watched all that stuff. And I used to watch Death Valley Days with her when I was a kid, and Little House on the Prairie, Bonanza. I don't think I watched The Rifleman with her, but I also watched the one that what's the actor who took the place of John Wayne because he didn't want to go to TV? It wasn't The Rifleman. It was the
Chuck Connor.
No, because Chuck Connor was the Rifleman.
Right.
No, was it Rawhide or it was
Rawhide.
Okay.
I think Strother Martin is the person that says what we have here is a failure to communicate.
That was in Cool Hand Luke. I saw that recently in the last year as well for the first time. That's with Cool Hand Luke. You have Doc Hudson from Cars. I'm brain farting his name. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Paul Newman. Yeah.
Paul Newman.
Fucking Caesar dressing. So yeah.
Strother Martin's the one that said failure to communicate.
Yeah, and I never knew that. I thought that was like some Grapes of Wrath type shit, and instead it was
a lot of people attribute it to Linda Hunt.
Okay. And then also when you hear the song Civil War by Guns N' Roses, which is very, very similar to Knocking on Heaven's Door, by the way. Every time I hear Civil War by Guns N' Roses, I immediately start thinking of, Knocking on Heaven's Door. And that sound clip is played in that song at the beginning. What we got here is failure. And when I finally saw Cool Hand Luke, and that scene is where the warden is talking to the other prisoners about how Cool Hand Luke is being a rebel, and he's going to pay for fucking up the status quo or whatever with the prisoners. It threw me off because I expected that to be in something else.
Okay,
not that.
Moving on to Rawhide.
Was it Rawhide? Okay, no, no. It was the one that was on for like 15 years.
Bonanza.
No, God, it was Okay, so John Wayne was offered the role, and he didn't want it because it was like going to TV was like death for a movie star back then. And so he offered it to his buddy, I think it was James Arness, who took on the role, and he had the role for like the whole 15-year run that the show was on.
I have a quick note on the, we brought up the dressing thing. I watched the documentary on the Carlyle Hotel.
Yeah.
And Paul
Matt
Newman
Dillon,
was in there with
Gunsmoke.
whoever he was, whatever female that night. And he said, I want to make my own dressing. And they're like, okay. And I guess
Marshall Dillon.
So they pride themselves on their, what is it? Like nobody knows what's going on there with that's their motto. That's their credo. So he goes back in the kitchen and he whips up his own dressing, and that ends up becoming Newman's own.
That sounds creepy. Like
it is creepy.
He did some additives. You know what I mean?
It all took place at the Carlyle. All kinds of things,
some preservatives, if you will.
All kinds of cool shit has gone on there, but they're like, we won't talk about it.
let's cover up what we're talking about by using fucking
Dressing.
alternative worlds.
On the subject of people tainting food, how many times in your life, just estimation wise, do you think that you've eaten something that's been intentionally tainted by another human being?
Most of the time.
100%.
Most of the time.
No. How many times do you think it's happened?
100%.
Every single time?
Every single time.
Well, I don't mean like a hair falling into it. I'm talking about someone intentionally snorting on, or just
15% of the time.
100% of the time.
Mike's going with a hundo.
Is that just to cover all bases? Or?
Yeah. I was listening to Opie and Anthony. I've been on this Opie and Anthony kick with Otto and George. Otto and George was a puppet act, right? Really dirty, fucking just funny motherfuckers. And they were talking about, and maybe there was a video involved, but they were talking about a thing that had happened at a restaurant where they were talking about coleslaw. That was what they were doing, and the guy was mixing coleslaw, and he did it with his hands. Ugh. And he's like Greek or Armenian, hairy and fucking gross and all that. So it's like every time he would just mix it. Now, when you're watching like Guy Fieri and all these other people and they're all mixing it properly, you're watching propaganda. Because that's not what they fucking do.
Like as if like a $15 steak falls on the floor, you really think they're going to throw that shit away?
Right.
No, they're picking it up and fucking washing it off and then throwing it into the microwave.
You know what?
And you can't taste the difference. So what the fuck do you care?
You know what?
5-second rule.
Yeah, that's been debunked. Look.
No,
it has.
It's a 5-second rule.
If the germs are going to get on it, they're going to get on it immediately. It doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds or not. But it's the thing is that you rinse the fucker off. It's that simple. That doesn't bother me. If I still ate steak and someone dropped it, if I found out someone...
what if they did that with your salad?
Okay, I got a story.
Pick it up and put it in a bowl, rinse it off.
Well, salad has more parts, not moving parts, but has more parts, so more pieces. So there's more likely to be more debris up in there. You know what I mean?
Dunk their balls in it.
So I've actually seen this shit go down. I was working at Mountain Mike's Pizza in Grass Valley, and I was not in charge. I was just there.
Yeah.
So this guy drops a large pizza on the ground and picks it up and puts it, there's like a screen thing, right? And it goes through the oven. And I'm like, well,
was it cooked or not cooked?
Not yet. And I said, what are you fucking doing? He's like, the oven kills everything. I was like,
not really.
I mean, as long as it's not Ebola or something like really.
Have you seen the floors at Mountain Mike's or any pizza place?
Yes, my ex-wife worked at one,
disgusting.
and she used to take food home every night for the couple months she worked there before getting fired. And I found out how cheap the quality of the ingredients were at Mountain Mike's, and I refused to ever step foot in that place ever again after knowing what they put in their food.
Why is it bad?
It's just cheap quality everything. It is so bad, and I'm pretty sure
isn't it everywhere?
It was no, because like if you go to Round Table, and I agree with Joe on the Mountain Mike's thing. Here's the problem. Like if you go and buy and try this out for yourself, if you just go get a sausage and ham pizza, like the ham is great, but the sausage is nothing more than just processed ground meat. It's not. Sausage is ground meat, but it's got spices and everything else in it. I'm talking about just ground beef. They just fucking mix up ground beef and throw it on the pizza and make it look like sausage. It tastes bland.
Yep.
It's awful. It's fucking shit.
Everything that they used at Mountain Mike's, other than like the chicken, it came in these bags, and it was all thigh meat. And thigh meat is good if you cook it right, but it was just, you could tell it was just low quality shit. And everything else was frozen. It was just like, you might as well have been able to go to Smart and Final and buy the cheapest frozen bag of shit.
Yeah. And they're not allowed to see. Restaurants are not allowed anymore to go to the grocery store and buy quality meat. They have to buy it from this protected territory bullshit like I can't remember the name of it.
Like 100% beef?
No, but it's a company that started off with Subway. Or at least they were working with Subway. So they deliver to Subway. They deliver to a couple of other places. They have protected territory.
Yeah.
So when you want to purchase restaurant quality food, you have to buy from this particular company, at least here in California. Yeah. And that's it. You can't go and buy at Costco.
Huh. I didn't know that.
No restaurants are allowed to do that because we were doing that at Subway. Like if we ran out of cold cuts and whatever else, we just go right over to fucking. And legally you're not allowed to do that anyways because you can't resell stuff that's already been sold.
Right.
It's against the law. But when you run out of food and there's a fucking Safeway next door, you're just like, fuck it, I'll just go and we'll take the loss. It doesn't matter. But you're just using quality meats and the owner of that Subway would get quality meats until he was forced to purchase from this company. It's like fucking mafia shit.
Yeah, and this is how, like with Mountain Mike's, that's how they were able to expand so much, because they're paying bottom dollar for their ingredients, and then they're charging $20 to $30 for a single pizza. And just because their pepperoni somehow forms into these little grease bowls when they cook them, everyone fucking loves it. And
their pizzas aren't bad. It's just you have to get it a specific way. I've had lunch there with coworkers, where you get the unlimited, fat guy special and the buffet,
and where you can just keep grabbing pizzas and shit, and eat as much as you want. And when in that moment when it's hot, fresh out of the oven, it's hard to tell that it's shit. But I'll tell you what, this is how you can tell the difference in the quality. I love cold pizza out of the fridge. Fucking love it. I've always loved it my whole life. It's a fat guy thing, or maybe it's not a fat guy thing. I don't know, but it's my thing. And Mountain Mike's pizza tasted like horrific shit cold out of the fridge. So, I mean, that right there is another indicator.
But it's got to be better than Domino's.
Domino's isn't that bad.
Really?
No,
I haven't had Domino's in a long time because I don't eat bread. So it's been a while. But
Joe doesn't eat food. He just subsists on air. Like he subsists like a sponge.
And tap water.
And, what do they call, like a fucking plant.
Tap water from Auburn, California. You can edit that out.
Like fucking SpongeBob.
Yeah. But we had a family friend who worked at, she was retired, so she would just do occasional cafeteria work at the local school.
Oh, you said retired.
Yeah. And so she would, I guess the school would get Domino's pizza, but they would get the wheat grain pizza dough.
Gross.
And she would bring it to us because she'd have all this extra, and she'd bring it, and I wasn't eating it. The kids would try it, and the kids didn't even like it. Like I remember I tasted one piece one time, and it was literal cardboard, man. It was.
You can adjust the mic,
and I can't even remember like why anyone would even consider eating this shit. Like I think a homeless person would fucking throw it back at your face.
I disagree.
Yeah, I mean,
no, he probably would.
Yeah.
Homeless people get really fucking hungry.
I said I want $1, bitch. Like a scary movie.
Fucking, I'd rather have something from fucking Starbucks.
Here's a sandwich. There you go. I said I want $1, bitch.
Yeah. Now Mountain Mike's, Godfather's pizza was really good.
Really?
Yeah. And then
Godfather's wasn't bad,
but I still think the best. And I'm going to start doing this if I want pizza again. I haven't had pizza in like a couple months now. Mm-hmm. Well, that's wrong. I had one Round Table,
and that's the best.
Yeah, and you have to pay for it. But you know what? I'd rather pay. The last time I bought pizza, and it's on my Facebook page.
Pizza, isn't it?
Was from the local place, and I'm not going to give them a fucking name.
Nope.
And I ordered, food plus Pepsi, and it's like, oh, well, your minimum order has to be this amount of money. Like, it is that amount of money plus tax is like fucking $22. It's $22 plus the delivery fee. Well, no, you have to order $20 worth of food, and then we're gonna I did, but now I gotta go to $22 just to get the fucking whatever.
Throw some toothpicks in there.
Which is fucking retarded, because like if you're gonna order food, like I'm one person, why the fuck would I order $40 worth of food? It should be just any amount. If it's $5, you would have to order 7 of their sandwiches just to fucking get the $20.
If there was no delivery fee, then I could see them saying that, because it costs them money to drive it out to you with, and gas. And,
and then a tip on top of that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are we talking the guys that deliver from the shop, or are we talking the what is it called?
No. Okay, so
no, we're not. He's not Grubhubbing. He's not talking about that at all.
If it were Grubhub, it would be a whole different thing. But I don't have Grubhub, and I don't have the Dining Dash.
The DoorDash.
DoorDash.
Yeah.
I don't have those apps on my phone.
Fuck you, DoorDash.
But I can say
they're enablers.
Leave my food outside. I'll fucking kill you. I'll burn your fucking house down.
They enable laziness to the nth degree.
Just throw your fucking food right out the window as they drive by. But this company doesn't use that. They use an app of their own, or a company's app, which is even worse. And that company requires this amount of money. So it was $35 for the whole fucking kit and caboodle.
Yep.
So there was $15 of fees on top of everything that I purchased. It's never going to happen again. Not only that, the pizza that they delivered was burnt. It looked like they were trying to make a Frisbee out of it so they could just throw it.
I saw a picture, dude. It was bad.
It was awful. There was no sauce on it. There was literally no sauce on it. So I called the guy back. I said, first and foremost, you forgot my extra Pepsi. I went out there and told the guy, hey, where's my other Pepsi? Oh, you only got one. And then I didn't have my phone with me, so I didn't want to argue with. I was like, maybe I did make a mistake, right? So I'll eat that one. Fine. And then I call the guy and he goes, well, we close in like 10 minutes and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not going to make a guy stay there for 40 minutes and make me a new fucking pizza. First and foremost, I'm annoyed.
Dude, yeah.
And secondly, all I would do is just go there and just berate him.
The pizza looked so bad, dude. I was thinking of starting a support group.
Oh, God. And
I mean, I was offended for him.
It looked like they fucking dropped it.
If you're gonna, I've noticed this with COVID. The quality of food from a lot of places has gone down. I think we talked about it last week.
You talked about it last week. You talked about the tortillas.
Yeah, but the effort into everything has gone down. I don't know if it's because of less man hours or people are just maybe they're suffering those long-term COVID effects, post-COVID effects, or what. But they are not giving a shit about.
No, I know the truth, anymore. And they're like, we don't have to. We never worked hard, but we're gonna work even less. That's the truth.
I think those places have less employees at them now, and then they have the same. They have a few people there. They have a skeleton crew, and then they're being underpaid, so they don't give a shit.
Right, more so than ever.
They're not being underpaid. They're being paid $15 an hour to fucking make a pizza.
What?
So they've gotten raises for the last 3 years. Minimum wage.
$15 an hour is minimum wage? Yeah. I want to raise.
Something like
that.
So
you work in construction, so you already make good money.
Oh, I saw that. That's fucking horrible.
Dude, I've seen microwave pizza.
Can you see this pizza, listeners? This does not look good.
That should be the episode's picture.
It looks like
the surface of Mars.
It looks like an open calzone and a dog shit on it.
It looks like something my dog drug across the lawn when I threw my socks to him.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
It looks like if Arnold Schwarzenegger took a bite, he'd be going,
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Fucking flatbread. It looks like flatbread with dog shit on it. That's what it looks like.
So you were not impressed.
I was not happy. And I called the guy up. So I kept checking I think I put on my credit card. And I kept checking my credit card and it still says pending charge. I don't know if they've charged me yet.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah. And I'm just, and here's the kicker. Like, I know the owner. Heather knows the owner. And you probably do too. So if you were involved with 2030 and this and that, I don't know if you were.
What?
But this Auburn shit. I don't know.
Auburn 2030 Club? You know that Heather's involved in?
I know about it, but I'm not in any way involved.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know if you ever were. Mark and Heather and all this other stuff. So they know the owner of this company. I was almost going to say it. And he's a nice guy. And he does a lot for the community and whatever else. It's not him, It's the people he has working for him that are fucking retards. And this is not the first time this has happened. This is like the 10th time this has happened to me, and I finally just had it. I am not going back there. I'm not going back there because the people that work there don't give a shit. And he cares way too much. And like the last time that I had this happen, I told him what happened. He goes, I'll just make you a new one. No problem. I said, that's cool. And he did. It came out perfectly. Like, I want my pizza simple. I don't want like fucking a ton of cheese on there. And they don't listen. That's all. Bread, sauce, cheese. And this is how most fucking idiot Californians that work in pizza joints make it. Bread,
bread sauce,
a spittle of sauce. They put it in their mouth and spit, and then they just throw as much fucking cheese as they can on top of it to cover up because everybody loves cheese. It has to be proportional. Make it proportional.
So I want to back up to Round Table. You can't fail with Round Table.
I don't think I've ever had Round Table pizza that was bad. Right.
I mean, so you're paying more, but you're going to get what you... for me, the taste goes back to like the fucking 80s. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, like that's what it tasted like back parlor. Then.
Yeah. Well, my favorite until a year ago, my favorite was Pizza Hut because they used to have, well, they still do, but they have this. I call it the buttery bottom crust, where the crust is this it's just oily and it's so good, and it's probably a coronary in every bite, but whatever, it tasted awesome. But I don't know if it's the quality of ingredients have gone down, and or it's because I quit eating most junk food and no sugar and all that stuff and most things that have preservatives and shit in there. I just didn't notice how bad it was before, and now I do because I have a different palate now. I don't know, but it's horrible. All I tasted when I had their pizza, I had a thin crust, so there's less bread in there, right? And it was a buffalo chicken one. And all I tasted was salt and unnatural ingredients. That was it. I couldn't taste anything else. It was junk. And I tried a piece of someone else's pizza, and it was just all I tasted was salt.
Yeah.
It's the end of an era. I'm done with it. I'm not going back to Pizza Hut.
So as much pizza, Friday night was our pizza night.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming home out of the Bay Area or something. My wife was like, I'm going to order pizza.
Yeah.
And that happened a lot. And if you go get a couple pizzas from Round Table, you're going to drop $90. It's going to happen. You get some breadsticks and a couple large pizzas, you're going to drop $90.
God damn, it was a gold flake?
No, and I mean, it's good. And I started going over to
like
Safeway.
Truffles? Are there truffles on there?
No,
shit?
I mean, it's just that good. They know they can get that much money, I think.
God.
So then I start going over to Safeway and I start picking out pizzas out of the ice box. And they're not bad. You can get some good pizzas in there that are going to be better than, like, Mike, what you're talking about sounds fucking horrible. I mean, you could just go over to the grocery store and throw it in your own oven. It's going to be,
Dude, I've seen Tombstone pizzas that have come out better than
I've
that.
seen pizza coming out of garbage cans looking better than that. 3 days old. There's this place in Southern California called Amici Pizza and Pasta. Amici Pista and Pazza. Pizza.
Did they set the pizza under a tree?
Yeah, that's what they did.
During autumn or something? I know,
And
the spinach leaves, but
this is fucking great. Sub sandwiches. They have a sandwich here.
it's making my mouth water.
Right there.
Why is there no picture?
Because
People like pictures. We're simple.
$10 for a veal parmesan sandwich. Yes, please.
I'll take the veal with the extra suffering on the side.
My God, it is probably one of the best. It's veal. It's fucking sauce. It's cheese. That's all it is. There's no tomatoes. There's no lettuce. There's no mushrooms. None of this crap. It's just veal in my mouth, please. But they also have a really good pizza. So and they don't have Amici's up here. But what you see, this is one of their Mediterranean pizza.
Why is it? Do you think that when you're closer to major metropolitan areas, that the pizza quality usually gets better with certain places?
Sacramento has a major metropolitan area, and I don't think there's a lot of great pizza places here.
Sacramento's still considered second rate to bigger cities like, say, Phoenix and LA. And I know Sacramento County has like 1.5 million people. And I think the city of Sacramento now has 500,000 in its population. I just looked it up because I was doing comparisons because I'm thinking of moving to Oregon in a few years. So I was looking at the population of Oregon in certain cities, and there's way more per capita, per counties down here than there is up in Oregon. So also thinking about doing work up there and stuff. I don't know if it's going to be feasible.
So the only thing that comes to my mind is that maybe if you're in Sacramento, you can get a really shitty pizza that's still really good for $10 or something.
Well, it's like also a perspective thing, right? Like if you're used to things being a certain way, top quality for you might be complete shite to someone who's in Chicago or New York City, right? Who's had quote unquote real pizza, right? So,
well, even then,
I've heard that argument about barbecue too. If you've been to Texas, you've had real barbecue.
I think what it comes down to is you're right about taste and whatnot, but there's just a select few places that are exceptional, just like in every walk of life, and then you have good, great, mediocre, and shit. And and it's the same with chain restaurants and whatever else, like Mountain Mike's. You're gonna have the exceptional Mountain Mike's, and they don't follow the rules and they use high quality ingredients, and then you're gonna have the rest of them.
Do you ever have Cheezers?
No.
In Sacramento? I don't even know if they still exist.
I don't think they still exist.
We ordered them one time from when we were working at Mazda, and we ordered a whole bunch of them for the weekend.
Yeah, they still have them.
And it was a place called Cheezers. I mean, they're already building it up good, you know.
There's one off of Fulton, and it's permanently closed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And but a place called Cheezers, you'd think, oh damn, that sounds like that's tasty, right? That's some tasty sounding pizza. It was worse than. I don't want to say that it was.
It sucked. Just say it sucked.
The hot and ready from Little Caesars leagues better than Cheezers.
Just say it sucked.
Cheezers just it absolutely sucked. It was boring. It was
fucking garbage.
It was bland.
You don't have to fucking
I should have been
gift wrapped it.
Should have changed. Yeah, well, I
Stop being nice.
I'm categorizing. So
You know, here's the horrible part. The thing about pizza is like it's supposed to be that like even if pizza's really bad, it's like sex. It's like, well, it wasn't that bad.
No.
until you saw what fucking he took, what he posted online.
See, I don't buy into that analogy anymore. It's like sex. At least you're having it.
I've had bad sex.
You know what? Fuck that. It was shit. Okay.
I've had a bad blowjob, and I didn't know that was possible.
What was his name?
Damn it, Hector. Why can't I let you go?
Fuck you, Hector.
His name was Kit.
No, it was, I'm not going to say names, but it was an ex-girlfriend from when I was in my late teens to early 20s. And she didn't know how to blow, and she didn't know how to ride. Like, okay.
Like you're an expert in fucking
devastating.
Well, I know what fucking feels good. I know what causes pain.
She didn't know how to blow. And she didn't know how to ride. But I'm an expert at 18.
And also long-term trauma. Okay.
Right.
For one, when she rode
long-term trauma, she broke your dick.
It's simple. She makes it go up and down on there, right?
Right.
No, instead it was holding on to it and fucking tugging it all around like I'm a rodeo bull or some shit.
Like she's playing joust.
That hurt. Yeah, right. That fucking hurt.
Or Dig Dug.
And then with the blowy, it was all teeth and no technique or talent
Watch
at
those
all.
fucking teeth, bitch.
Like, it's like, have you never had an astropop in your life? What the fuck is going on?
What's an astropop?
You
don't know what an astropop is?
I don't.
Where the fuck?
How have you survived?
Where the fuck
this
have you
long
been? You haven't been on a roof and on a hot day and someone ice cream man
the
didn't go
ice
by?
cream with the red.
yellow.
An astropop.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I know. Yeah, we're
What
good.
do you think I meant? A guy from Mars?
Maybe.
Like a parent, like a father from Mars? The astropop.
He was thinking of a sex.
I don't know everything.
Hold
All
on,
right.
No. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I like how it conveniently.
This is Joe having sex with that girl. Maybe.
Listeners, can you see this? It's Dig Dug.
Where's the music?
Wow, you planned that out really well. You're supposed to be like a DJ where you can listen to the sound of it on your own headphones without it going on to the show.
That's shitty
And then you
production
can-
value.
Yeah,
There it is.
There's no music.
You gotta do the sound
I'm really
mixing.
upset. There you go.
Yeah, you gotta be walking for it to do it.
This is Joe. This is Joe having sex with that girl.
I mean, look, I could be perfectly honest. I was still a novice at the time myself, but I also know what fucking hurts and what doesn't. Okay.
That last noise was her just giving it to you. Doodly.
No, I remember the thing when the girl's on top and you're like, if my dick comes all the way out, please slow your roll.
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
It fucking bent. And
I'm getting fucking nervous here.
I didn't break it, but goddamn.
It was like a vagine finger trap or penis trap on me that just would not let go.
That's a good thing.
No, it wasn't. It was.
That's what everybody wants.
No, it sounds like it might be, but it's not.
I'm going to complain about tight.
No, there was no sliding. There was no up and down, in and out. It was just hold on the grip.
That's what it's supposed
and
to
then
do.
Fucking tug it in every direction.
You should feel good about that. That means you had a huge cock. Or huger than what she's used to.
Or she's just showing off.
Or she's showing off.
And that makes me nervous.
She's just clamping around like a bear trap. Joe and his gigantic junk
It was bad.
flopping around
It
there.
was so bad. And look, she's got like 4 kids now by like 3 different dudes.
3 of them are Joe's.
So I'm pretty sure she's gotten better at what she's done.
Apparently. Well, maybe not. You never know.
So yeah, I learned.
It's like driving a
I
fucking
learned there's a
semi
such
through
thing
it.
as bad sex and bad fucking head. I didn't know bad head existed, but it does.
Oh, bad head does exist. Yeah.
Like I've seen comedians stand up and go, any head is good head. And I beg to differ through experience.
Not if they have roto-rooter mouth.
Yeah. Don't take advice from Richard Pryor.
Was that a molar? What the fuck was that? The shit. I'm not a sugar daddy, candy.
Hey, before we get off food, because we started to talk about sandwiches, Beach Hut Deli. Anyone?
No.
I love just staring at cheerleaders all day. That fucking the
Jesus Christ. What a
my first thought about
here. I don't like looking at girls.
Joe,
I'm 43. I'm not staring at fucking 16-year-olds.
Fucking cares? Are you putting your dick in them? Then looking's fine.
That's not my point. He's defensive because he loves that shit. He's a fucking pedo. Okay?
Yeah, I'm a pedo because I like looking at fucking sexy girls.
He's not dead yet, so shame on you, Michael.
Yeah.
No, this is the
Shame
thing
on me for looking at a chick that's
This is the
dressed
thing
like
about
a fucking
Beach
whore.
Hut Deli. Every time I've been, I used to have to go there all the time to pick up food for the dealership they would order on the weekends. And you could tell every location, it didn't matter where they're at, the owner has to hire, usually blonde, not always, but usually blonde, cheerleader shape teenage girls. Every place you go to. It's weird. It's like almost like there's a program or something.
And he's got a problem with this.
I
Fucking loser.
I don't go to Hooters. I don't like it. Dutch Brothers. I don't like going to Dutch Brothers because they make the girls wear fucking bikini tops.
At 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving by on my way to work every morning. I'm like, why doesn't this girl have any fucking clothes on? It's freezing outside.
I guess I'm a minority in this fucking conversation with this.
You are,
but I don't
okay.
see it that way. I understand the boners and shit for you guys. I get it, but I don't see it that way.
But I'm just gonna, because we have based everything off of we are hypocrites, so it's not a big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking hypocrite. When we were doing the cocktails with Heather, bringing up shit like, "Oh, go back to her. Go back to her." Oh, yeah.
But that's not another human being who's looking back at me who knows that I'm fucking oogling her.
Who cares?
Is it oogling or ogling?
Same,
is it both?
Whatever.
Joe, don't level up all of a sudden. Come on.
If you're attracted to him, look, you can appreciate it. You're not trying to fucking hit on them. You're not trying to put your dick in them.
I see Beach Hut Deli as intentional eye candy. So you're willing to pay that much for a fucking sub,
and they're 18 anyways.
Yeah, exactly. They're not
18.
fucking 16.
Yeah.
They're not. They're pouring you beer. They're 18. Relax.
Yeah, just
go.
Enjoy
with it,
the eye
man.
candy and go with it. You don't have to try to hit on them. Let your kids do that.
That's never been a thing for me.
Stop feeling bad.
No, that's never. Look, I know you guys are projecting onto me with
not really
with the way you think I should think, but that's great. Good for you. But I'm telling you,
get defensive about
I don't.
Jesus.
Okay, I don't like making people feel uncomfortable. And I know this sounds weird because if you go to wait, let me finish. If I go to a place like Hooters, they're expecting that. That's why they work at Hooters. They know that that's what's going to happen.
And that's what they're doing at Beach Hut Deli.
It still bugs me. I don't like doing that. That's not me.
But okay, let's go back to the Hooters thing.
What?
It's expected at Hooters.
But I still don't do it.
And it's expected at Beach Hut Deli.
But I still don't do it.
And you're not doing it to make them, you're doing it because that's what you're attracted to.
I understand.
So it's not making them feel uncomfortable because, okay, and I get it because I had a friend, he's gone now, but I had a friend that would do that. He would just sit there and he would get like, his eyes would go just wide and wider,
like
and
start
wider,
drooling
and
like
wider.
Homer Simpson,
like William Shatner would.
And we were fucking call him out on it, right? Like, dude, just fucking relax. like he would like his body was animal. A fucking penis, right? Yeah. And then he would like as he was watching, he would just like. And just slowly rise up, like, dude,
like Quagmire.
Fucking, relax.
Giggity.
You know, you have a different demeanor. You're not trying to project yourself or hey, look at me, I'm be blah blah blah. You know, alpha male, blah blah blah. You just enjoy the experience, fucking whatever. She's cute, right on, and go back to eating your
okay, Joe,
protein
close it
sandwich.
Up. Close it up.
It just to me, it's always felt like. Creepy man, creepy guy. I just don't do it.
It's creepy if you stare. It's creepy if you spit in a cup and give it to him.
Look, I understand. This sounds like this is hilarious from a guy who's never getting laid, and because I don't put myself out there, but it's
no. You've had more than I've had in the last couple of years. So hey,
the last time was with that lift pass.
I know.
Married.
Right.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
It was purely consensual, by the way. But I don't like making people feel uncomfortable. And
yeah, you mentioned that.
And so by me staring at women like that, if I'm not in the right environment. Like, okay, if I'm at a bar, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do at a bar, right? If that, I mean, why the fuck else are you there, right?
I don't see the difference, but look, it's your thing. I'm not saying you're wrong or you're right. It's your thing.
It's just hard to explain it because you guys see it a certain way, and I don't have a problem with it. It's just not my thing. It's just I've never been that way.
You just look and appreciate and move on.
I love women. I love the female body.
There's just some people that can't help themselves and just stare,
I think
and then slowly approach them in their bathrobe.
I think it's just because I've drawn a line, and I have always for a very, very long time now, I've stayed behind that line.
You're not a typical alpha aggressive male.
Yeah,
and you don't need to be.
All right, before this gets too fucking weird,
it's already too
beyond that.
I'm 45 years old. I have a hard time getting my dick hard anymore. Okay.
From what reason?
Well, I'm just
because the
old
porn
as
he's
fuck,
watching
and I mean,
fucking...
20 years of abuse, right? So I have always been able to appreciate the female form, but I agree with you. What I've learned in the last 8 years is I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable either. So I'll take a look at something and then I just go on with my business.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's
that simple. I'm not trying to use the alpha male.
You know what? I've done that myself.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're at the mall and there's some yoga ass walking by, I do a quick glance. I'm like, God damn, and I just keep going. I don't stare.
I use alpha male in the terms of, not every male is a shitbag.
Yeah.
And you can be alpha and not be a shitbag.
Exactly.
And so maybe I should just call them shitbag males.
I think it's also, I like doing things differently than the average bear. And so if I go to a place like Hooters, for example, I've only been there like 4 times in my life, but
4 times in the last 3 days.
I like, fuck it, let's go again. But I like the fact that I'm not doing the same thing that the average typical guy is doing. He's there just having a beer and then slapping his buddies going, oh, look at her ass, and all that shit. I mean, it doesn't really happen anymore, I don't think, because, people get kicked out. But I'm not there enough to see it. But
I've been to Hooters twice in my entire life.
Yeah.
And both times it was just like,
it just feels wrong because when they talk to you, they don't talk to you like, oh, hey, son, honey, you want a date? Sweetness. Oh, you're so cute. No, they don't talk like that. They talk like they're fucking schoolgirls. And that right there is not, I'm not into that shit.
Right.
I'm not into the immaturity.
Just learn role playing. That's all.
So, I just like, also, I like being different than the average person. The average guy that goes in there is expected to act that way. Like, just like a horny guy.
No. I think you're wrong about that.
Well, I mean, why else is a guy in a fucking a sports tie and a suit?
Well, they're going, but I don't think the average person's going there to get,
And I don't mean like everyone's going to holler at them, but they're still there for the eye candy.
Okay, here's why I disagree.
They were initially, but I don't think much anymore.
Here's why I disagree. The average, the kind of guys you're talking about, if they really want to fuck around and act like an asshole, will go to a strip club. Mm-hmm. When they go to Hooters, they want to have a couple beers, they want to have some chicken wings or whatever they have there, and the food is not bad.
And watch whatever sports on the TV.
And there's sports, and they, it's a bar basically, and it's a food place, and the girls are going to come around, and they're not strippers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure some of them might do it in the spare time. Yeah.
Maybe, probably. But here's the thing that's different between a girl that's working at Hooters and a girl that's working at Beach Hut Deli, and she's cleaning up your table or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that happens there. A girl at Hooters is going to make probably approaching not stripper tips, but they're going to make way more money than if it's a girl that brings you your food at Chili's or somewhere like that. And they know that. And you touched on it first. You said maybe they are strippers later on, and maybe some of them aren't. And I've talked to strippers because I talked to a stripper or two, and some of them are in college, and some of them are just going back out to their car to do meth.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the difference. And strippers make all kinds of money.
But it's limited time.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got a shelf life as a stripper.
I think it's just...
You also got a shelf life as a
part of my personality where I'm more...
Wait, staff? Who do you call it? Like, you can't
I'm
call
more caring than I am opportunistic. So, for example, when I'm doing my Lyft driving...
Food attendants.
I have given plenty of rides to strippers just getting off work, to sex workers, because that's the new term, right?
Oh yeah.
To sex workers. I'm taking them from one hotel to another, and the conversation sometimes comes up about what they do.
And
And
hopefully you clean your seat.
and I never.
I'm sorry.
They're sitting on his lap, Mike. Come on.
The
clean your lap.
The Febreze is still on order. It's stuck in the Suez Canal right now.
Fabric softer.
So-
No, what is that shit that they put on the Scotch Guard?
Yeah, there we go.
You got a Scotch Guard. So you just
Ron White loves that shit.
Does Lysol hurt in the urethra?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a serious fucking look. Like he knows
I felt that
firsthand.
pain. It's never happened to me, but I felt that pain right when you said it.
Just looks at you.
Yeah.
Joe, I'm
That's why,
intrigued.
like if
You
you're
bet
ever
your
gonna,
ass it does.
if I'm ever gonna need a catheter, you better knock me the fuck out, because I'm not willingly letting you shove anything down my pee hole while I'm awake.
Agreed.
No fucking way.
Agreed. We're on the same team. High five.
That's one of the biggest no-nos, Chenqui. Right? Okay.
I just listen. Sometimes I'm just taking.
Tell me where you're going with this.
I'm just taking one whore from a fucking hotel to
okay.
another hotel.
So
And we just beyond. We just
Mike,
passed on that, and nobody's even fucking questioning it.
I'll give you what?
Let him finish.
You know my mind when I've got something I got to say, my mind gets locked into that.
Get on it.
Then I'm trying to get away from that, so we just fucking flow with the conversation.
Get on
It's just
it.
like,
Get on it.
Why?
So, for example, I gave a ride to this girl who's 20 the other night. And, throughout the ride, she was in the car for like 20, 25 minutes, because I had to take her from one part of town to all the way to the other. And through the conversation, found out that she is occasionally doing call girl shit. And she's got an open boyfriend who is kind of her pimp.
Call girl escort or just pimping?
Escorting and yeah, like yeah, pretty much escorting. And
Okay.
and she even says that like a lot of people that end up calling her are people that are in high positions, like senator type people. Like she said, she just went out with a guy affiliated with one of the colleges. Like he ran the college, and she had to pretend to be his girlfriend for a few days. Things like that. I ain't gonna say what. I'm not gonna, discretion, right? But the conversation, and this has happened other times as well. The conversation has never led to me hinting at, oh, can I get your phone number? Because I'd like to be a client or anything. There's never one time been a flirtatious thing coming from me. It's always me listening, me giving advice in a way that betters themselves as a person and helps themselves in whatever they're doing. Because I feel like more fatherly towards it. Maybe it's because I have 2 daughters myself, and I've got kids, but I don't like want to also be that typical guy that's like, oh, you're a sex worker? Well, can we go do a little, No, I don't want to be that guy. And I'm the opposite of that guy.
But that's why she's talking to you about it, because in case you are.
Yeah, and then also then it's possible, yeah. But also it was through when I talk to people, especially young people, people open up to me really quickly, because I'm very disarming in a way where it's because I'm very honest about myself, and I'm not inhibited by embarrassing things. You want to know something about me? Just fucking ask. I don't give a shit.
And then this would happen.
No, I actually commend you for where you're coming from, and I get it. Like, I have granddaughters now.
Uh-huh.
I have a stepdaughter. I have a son. And I've grown up a little bit, and you're absolutely right. Like, in a way, these people are like sort of suffering. You know what I mean?
It is, and the weird part is even though I'm a horny motherfucker, it doesn't compute with me to take advantage of that shit.
Right. You're taking the high road, and my fucking microphone and my earmuffs are off to you.
And I mean, the one thing about it that sucks though is I wonder how many opportunities I've missed. But whatever, I still look at it as
at least one.
Awesome. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So,
God damn it, that was Janet Jackson.
You'd be surprised though. A lot of these strippers that you end up picking up like at 5 a.m. after they've left the club, and it's usually not on their phone. It's always the bouncer, like one of the guys there that's requesting the ride. Always got to stop by some other house first to pick up their kids, and then take them home.
Yeah. Right.
Always. And I don't see it as an opportunity to pounce on that shit. I see it as, oh, this is someone that has to do what they have to do, and they're tired, and now they got to go get their kids.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to add to that shit. I'm not going to be that creepy fucking guy.
And there are a lot of dudes out there that are like that. They just want to take advantage of people like that. And again, I mean, it means a lot that, hey.
But I will say this.
Treat them like people. Treat everybody equally.
Yeah, but I will say this. If they initiate, all right, let's party.
There we go.
Now he's backpedaling.
But it doesn't. That's only happened once.
Tell me the rest of the story. What happened?
Well, that was on an episode of Cocktails that we had that one. But
All right.
Long story short,
I had a passenger I picked up from a bar, and she wasn't like shit faced, but she was,
feeling
she
good.
was at least one sheet to the wind.
And you partied?
And she
Perfect.
within 5 minutes, she flirted with me and said, well, why don't you pull over into an alley and we can get freaky in the car? And I was like, I'd rather go to a hotel and do it right.
Right. But you did. You pulled into the alley?
Dude, at the time I weighed 450 pounds, and I'm not fucking in an Altima weighing 450 pounds. It's not happening.
So no.
That's too uncomfortable. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So
Okay.
we get a hotel room.
All right.
So we went to this shitty one on 1 Avenue.
The Sands.
The one that gets raided like every 2 weeks.
Right.
By SWAT.
I think it's gone now.
It's been remodeled a couple of times. Now it's the Red Roof Inn.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I didn't, found out she was a screamer. God damn. Look, there's no bragging rights in here because look, if she hooked up with my 450 pound ass at the time just that quickly, then imagine how many nights she also does that when she comes out of the bar. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I'm not special in that regard. I'm just saying that she's a screamer.
I'm just surprised she hasn't fucking tried to get you again.
Joe, don't talk bad about yourself. You're a fucking good looking guy.
I'm just a very humble person.
I'll totally make out with you after the show.
I don't like facial hair. You're gonna have to get rid of that.
Fucking picky.
I am a picky bitch.
You are a picky bitch.
Picky.
Or give it to you for free. No, you gotta do something.
That's why I could never go all the way with
that.
trannies because I'm not into fucking balls.
Yeah.
Bummer. The tranny community right now is up in arms.
I'm sure they are. Yeah.
I
No, we lost another one.
I can't have none of this.
I'm sorry, boy girls, but no this.
I wonder, is it like bigoted, insensitive for me to add a Y to the end of tran
No.
instead of saying trans person?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. That
and
whole
to tell you the
topic's
truth,
way
it's
too
just-
fucked up now.
I don't. Let's just stay away from it.
Sex.
Is that cheap quality?
Yeah, absolutely. You want
Okay, if you're gonna poison yourself with ultra, triple, quadruple filtered shit.
I don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, leave him alone. Let him do what he wants.
Okay, fine. You
Does that
do-
look like fucking oh shit.
I knew that was going to happen eventually. I didn't know who was going to do it.
Mike
But
wants me thrown out of this
The fucking
motherfucker
fact-
immediately.
No, he
Get
has it-
out.
He has it on that fucking table. I mean, it's like he's like asking
It's a
for it to happen.
setup.
It is.
You're fine.
Help me with this, Joe.
No, just
do you know how
go.
long?
Just lie it down on the
Yeah.
table. You're fine.
Do you know how long he bought me one of those for Christmas? One of those ATSTs, and it took me 15
Get on the mic.
minutes. It took me. I'm on the fucking mic.
No, you're echoing.
It took me 15 minutes to figure out how to have the legs properly for that goddamn thing so it could stand up on its own. I'm not adept with those things at all.
Those ones in particular, I know exactly what you're talking about. They're weak because they're the way that they're set
Yeah.
up. They just fold like this stupid mic stand right here.
Mm-hmm.
They just fold in on each other, and then
It's like someone with a 50-pound head.
I just
You
like
know?
to point out that if that was the four-legged walker from Empire, that would not have tipped over.
exactly.
It's the Return of the Jedi
yeah, the
model.
AT-AT, yeah.
That's why we got fucked on that one.
Yeah.
And my presence.
Those are the kind you just roll logs at.
No,
and
you're not the
good.
first one to knock it over, so don't worry about it.
Thank God.
The thing, Joe's knocked it over. I've knocked it over. But
Welcome to the club.
When initially putting it together, it fell down like 64 times. And,
Yeah, you fart wrong. Shit
yeah,
fucking
just
falls
fucking
over.
Put it on its side. Put it in. I should put it in a bookcase so that it's got like a
Little stand in the back
yeah,
that holds it up
exactly.
like a clear stand.
Safe.
Yeah.
Well, what pisses me off is that how expensive those things are. You think that they would have done a little better quality on the balancing with those things.
Well, if you have it right, it'll balance properly.
Like you could put some weights in the feet or something, you know?
But it's
You know what I'm saying?
I don't care.
I think they were just
It's
taking,
not. I don't care about.
they
I
were
don't
taking
care about
advantage of fans. Like,
stupid toy.
like, oh, they'll pay this for this shit. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, the Mandalorian. Okay.
you bastards.
Here's some fucking. Here's my money. Like they got the classic. You remember when Star Wars first came out? They got the classic action figures, and now they've got like the retro Mandalorian action figures that are very similar in style to the classic Star Wars figures. And It's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool. I'm like, no, I can't. I've already spent enough money.
So I don't know if we need to edit this out or not, but do you talk about things at home at all? Like things that you might have talked about on Messenger with me about? Like the thing that happened the other morning when you thought you were alone, things like that.
What did we talk about? I'm not afraid to talk about anything.
Okay.
I'm already in fucking trouble.
Okay, when you said that when you said that you were servicing yourself and you think that you're
No, let's not talk about that.
Okay, see?
I didn't get that
why-
message.
Yeah,
that's why I asked. Is he?
Let's not talk about
You
that.
you and Joe have your own special fucking communication going on.
Yeah, you got on a good one.
I'm completely
let's
out
skip
of it.
that.
That be
Yeah.
off mic?
Yeah, let's
off mic?
keep
I'll delete
that
it.
off mic.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll delete that part.
Thank you though for bringing that up.
Hey, thanks for not including me in
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that could be-
conversation.
He finds the one thing, you know what I mean?
Because that's interesting. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's
Hey,
not.
Clay, do you mind if we talk about
It's not that interesting.
you
Dude,
bending over and looking at your asshole in the
No,
mirror? Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that right now
that
because
is
my wife came in
That is my Starship Troopers moment.
and she
Would you like to know more?
didn't like the fact that the dog was there and thought the dog was trying to lick my ass.
Right,
and
right.
I don't want to get involved with
That's a
that.
good dog.
Yeah. That dog looks like an asshole.
Yeah,
Every,
we
the fucking pictures and
we
everything.
got close on that one. All right.
So why are you in trouble though?
Well,
Who fucking cares?
do you want to talk about it?
Well, it's microphone therapy, baby.
All right.
It's supposed to be pop culture shit, but let's say.
My wife is a dentist, or she's not a dentist. She's an RDA. She works at this. She used to work at a clinic in North San Juan.
Okay.
I ended up having medical coverage through her. And the first thing that happened is she said, well, come up and get a physical. And we found out my blood pressure and all the shit I thought was never going to be a problem was a fucking problem.
Yeah.
So that was the first part.
Be surprising when you get a wake up call, huh?
Yeah. Because we all know I'd stopped doing amphetamines.
That just
When I was
reminded me.
Right around 38, I was like, okay, that's enough. I'm tired of fucking my life up. So I go up there for a general physical, and my blood pressure is fucked. And they're like, it's because you're drinking. So I end up being on 3 different blood pressure medications and now a cholesterol medication and a blood sugar medication. Okay, that was the first part. The second part was she said, let's get your teeth looked at. And look at my teeth. I think I have fucking great teeth.
They don't
right?
look bad at all.
They don't look bad at all. I don't have meth mouth. Well, guess what?
You have meth mouth.
Yes, I do.
It's just hidden. in
Yes,
there.
I do.
Yeah.
Because they start sticking these things in your gums and they're like, there's bone decay and all these things, right?
Yeah.
So I had a fucking impacted wisdom tooth. You know what that is? I could show you the picture, and this thing was a fucking monster, and it was down here, and it's growing sideways into the rest of my teeth, and it's been causing me discomfort for a long time.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm at work one day, and I'm eating an orange, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this orange? Like, why is this orange crunchy? So I spit the orange out,
Yeah.
Tooth came out.
and I spit out half of that wisdom
It
tooth.
broke off finally.
It broke off.
Yeah.
So then now all of a sudden it's like a fucking emergency, right? And I look, that's where I cut my arm with a chainsaw. That's when I go to the doctor normally. That's the kind of guy I am. I don't like go down there and go like, I don't feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I go in to her shop, and she doesn't even work there anymore. She switched jobs, and the guy is like Dr. Popov from like another country, and he's like old as fuck, right?
Vinny
And
Bubats.
and she sort of set me up for this.
Like he should be enjoying his twilight years, and he's not.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. He's working at a clinic. He's helping people out.
Yeah.
So he like looks in my mouth and he's like, "Yeah, your tooth is broken off." And I'm like, "Yeah,
No shit.
I fucking know that." And he's like, "I can't do anything for you."
You're also losing your hair.
Right? He's like, "You're fat and short. Your tooth broke off. We're going to refer you out."
Your wife is cheating on you.
And you
with
have
the
gray
gardener.
hair.
So I get in the car.
No just for men for you.
This is the funny thing about it. I get in the car and I have such a hard time not being full of shit with myself. So I get in the car. I'm like, fuck that. Like with the little piece of paper, like instead of like sticking it way over on the side when they're like, you need to get blood work and get back here immediately. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll fucking, and I get in the car and I'm full of shit. I'm like, I'll get that blood work done.
It's kind of like the ignoring it. Like
No, I wait until they're like, we fucking said get blood work and get back here. And so now we're not going to renew your pills because you're fucking up. And I'm like,
I went home and took a nap.
God damn. So it wasn't even like that with the tooth thing because I was in pain. Like I got in the car with the piece of paper and I was like, fuck that. And the paper like flew up in the air and it like literally like went down the side of the seat and I was all good.
I was eating an easy baked cheesecake once and my tooth broke in half when I was eating it. And I was like, I thought my mom accidentally had like pieces of glass in the fucking the cheesecake. I'm like, what the fuck, Mom? I yelled out loud, like, what the fuck you? And then I spit it out, and I'm looking in the spit, looking for glass.
Yeah.
And instead I see tooth pieces. And
Yeah.
then I do the tongue thing. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that happened to me recently.
Yeah.
You have an impacted wisdom tooth on your left side?
It's gone now.
Yeah. So I had impacted wisdom. It wasn't impacted. I had a wisdom tooth on my left side, and this was like when I was 20. So they took it out. They lasered it out. So
Lasered.
yeah, they cut the tooth and they cut into my gum,
Yeah.
and then they cut the tooth into 4 pieces and pulled it out.
Huh.
But the problem is when they cut the tooth, they have to also cut the top. So where the wisdom tooth is you have the other molar, right? Well, they cut into the other molar and then they filled it. So I'm eating this happened a couple months ago, right? Like 6 months ago. I'm eating and the back of the tooth disintegrates because there was nothing holding it anyways.
Right.
It was just fucking filling. So I now have a tooth that looks like that. It looks like a C. And it's kind of broken inside. So it's slowly disintegrating. Now I checked my teeth to make sure they're not black and fucking dying or whatever else. I just wanted to make sure, because if it's that, then it's infected. I got to go fucking take care of it. And it doesn't hurt. The problem is that if I chew anything on my left side, I get a dead spot on my tooth, and it hurts.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
Fuck you, you fucking dumb teeth.
So let me finish this up real quick. So then I'm like, now it's a fucking emergency, right?
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden, and I was like, fuck these teeth or whatever. Like, I'm not in pain, so fuck you. And then I'm at work one day and another piece breaks off, and I'm like,
Were you chewing gum?
no, probably something.
Yeah,
And
I've had that. Yeah.
Or my thing is I'm addicted to cough drops. Like, I don't even have a cold and I eat cough drops all day,
You know what
right?
sugar's in those?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely
sitting on
sugar.
your teeth all day?
No,
Fucking-
it's absolutely
yeah.
sugar.
It's like Rich Voss
So another
chewing fucking nicotine gum
another piece of the
8 years
fucking
after he quit
tooth
smoking.
breaks off, and now all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, now it hurts, right?
Yeah, because now you have more nerve exposed.
So I go back and I'm like, I'm talking to my wife again, and I'm like, I broke my fucking more of my tooth off, and now I'm in pain, and now it's an emergency. And she's like, oh, is it? Is it an emergency? And she just lays into me. She's like, it's an emergency because you don't take care of yourself. And she rolls into like all these other topics, right? And I'm like, and so I'm sitting there at the end of the conversation. I'm like, fuck.
Why didn't you just stop her and say, look, what's your last name? It's not Mrs. Cummings, is it? So shut your fucking mouth.
No, I
and
didn't.
save me from the fucking, the dress down. I don't need to be built up.
And so this is the horrible part, is
Broken
like,
down.
I did kind of do that, and I don't like to, so like what you were talking about earlier, like, I don't like to make people feel bad. That's my like new thing, and so, but I did. And she was like, you're a fucking asshole.
You got defensive. That's what it was.
I did get
Yeah.
defensive, and I was like,
But he didn't deserve for her to say all that shit to him.
but maybe I did.
No, look, I mean, if you say I'm in pain and then she goes in and fucking completely hammers on you and goes through all these topics about why your life is suck and fucking you're a failure and this and that.
Well,
like, fuck off,
Yeah, I mean,
bitch.
that's extreme. I mean, you deserved an I told you so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole she didn't need to do 5 degrees of Clay's life.
So this is passive.
She didn't need to do a fucking 15-minute comedy set on what's going on with you.
This is passive aggressive Clay. So a few minutes go by, and then I just fucking drop the hammer, and I'm like, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna help me get these teeth out of my head. Period. And she's and nobody likes that. So that's what happened. She helped me get these teeth out of my head. We had to finance the money to get it done. It had to be done in her name because my credit is poor. And
there's like a specialized insurance thing that you
that's
can
what we
get
used.
now.
That's what we used.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So she's like, on top of all of the other shit you do all the time, fuck you. You know what I mean? And I get it.
Was that your wife that did that?
Well, no, she doesn't even have to say it. Like, I get
Or
it.
was it your wife that helped you finance, or was it the doctor?
It's always my wife.
Okay.
I haven't financed anything. And
I mean, if your wife is the one that said that, then I take back whatever I said.
no, I mean, she's helped me get to where I am now. And so I always feel really, really bad when I go all passive aggressive, and then it just turns out that in the end, because then the next day comes and I'm like, I'm a frick,
Well, that's what I mean. Was it your wife that gave you the dressing down?
Yeah,
Or-
absolutely.
okay, then I take back what I just said.
Yeah.
I thought it was the receptionist.
Oh,
at
you
the
thought it was
dentist
the
No.
office.
doctor or the
Yeah.
okay.
No, the
my
receptionist
fault.
was like, let's rip these fucking teeth out. Let's go. Here's the pamphlet.
Yeah. And your wife's just like, what the fuck are you doing, motherfucker?
Well, yeah, because with the wife, she has to live with this shit. So
My
she
fault.
sees,
Yeah.
she's like, it's kind of like the trash building up, right?
Right.
Like it keeps building. All of a sudden, she fucking slips and breaks her elbow because you didn't take the trash out for 3 days.
Right.
Right.
Are we almost ready to do a break? 'Cause
Yeah, we are. We're
I
about
gotta
to.
fucking piss like a fucking.
Yeah, we're gonna finish the dentistry story.
Yeah.
Is that gonna stay longer?
I don't know. Probably not.
All right, how's that one? Is that good?
That's much better.
Okay.
So every time you turn your head, you get that. You get that sound.
We should just have like beer hats, but with microphones dangling from them like big
No,
penises.
what I'm gonna
And we
do
just
is
go like-
I'm gonna get one of these long. I'm gonna put a fucking thing on this.
Listeners, can
and
you see
then
this?
It's a tiny hand. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slowly reach up and pop you in the head.
You need to get a replica of Chris Elliott's hand from Scary Movie Part 2. Get a fucking full life-size replica of that arm, and then just fucking creep us out while we're doing the show. That'd be great.
I could do that.
That would be awesome.
I got one joke. Ready? What is worse than ants in your pants?
I don't know.
Uncles.
Touche.
That one is going up on the.
What's the best thing about dating homeless girls?
You don't have to. Or you can just kick them out anywhere.
You can drop them off anywhere.
Yeah.
That was off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's off the 3,000 miles to Graceland or something.
I haven't seen that since it was new.
We should chop that
Back
up.
in 1998, I saw that fucking movie.
We should talk about that
We
movie.
should chop
That
I
movie was
forgot
so
about that
fucking
movie.
weird because it had these weird
Kurt Russell and-
these robotic scorpion fights. In
Anything
between.
with Elvis. Let's chop it up.
Remember the robotic, the
Kurt
CG
Russell
robotic?
and
It was Kurt Russell
Fucking
and
Christian Slater.
I almost said Val Kilmer. I almost said Val
Christian
Kilmer.
Slater.
Val Kilmer.
Kevin
too?
Costner. Christian Slater.
Not Val Kilmer. Kevin Costner.
Kurt Russell. Because they both played
I've seen this
Elvises.
movie.
They all played Elvis.
Yeah. Costner and Russell.
And then the girl from Friends.
Which one?
Phoebe.
Oh, and the fucking
Kudrow,
the
or-
guy that is her husband. One of the
Oh,
Arquettes.
okay. You're talking about Courtney
Courtney-
Cox.
Courtney-
Not the
Cox.
one that got his dick turned into a fajita pita.
Kevin Pollak is in it. David Arquette. So
Yeah. So you got David
Arquette.
so he is in it.
Howie Long.
And Howie Long. All right.
Howie Long.
They tried
really?
to they tried to make Howie Long an action star with the movie where he played a fireman who gets stuck into a serious situation where he's got to become an action star because he did a small role in Broken Arrow with John Travolta and Christian Slater, and he was popular. He played a popular character in that movie. So they were like, oh, well, let's see if we can make Howie Long an action star.
No.
So they gave him this one a year later where he's a firefighter, and it totally tanked. I think it tanked worse than Stone
He
Cold.
does a
with
good
Brian
Honda
Bosworth.
commercial though. No, Toyota. No, what's the other one?
Toyota. He does. I think. He
I
does
can't-
No, what
don't
is it?
know.
It's not Toyota.
I don't watch regular TV anymore, so I don't know.
It's like
He is not the type of person that I would believe. Like, he doesn't give a shit about movies and whatever else. He loves football and whatever else he
Yeah.
does. But like fucking movies and stuff like that, I can remember him just saying, talking about the firefighter stuff and trying to promote it, and he just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I really
the
don't
name
wanna
of
talk
the-
about
I
it.
can't. I can't
I
remember
don't
the name
even
of the
really
movie.
want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't. Shit.
Well, next time we'll talk about fucking 3,000 miles to Graceland.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's very impactful.
I think so. Not impacted. Impactful.
Punch him in his fucking tit.
Not like a wisdom tooth.
Have a little sucker from my zipper.
That was pretty good.
I know.
Fucking awful.
Oh my god.
That one didn't work.
Yeah, you start to notice it after a while, like your fucking ears being pushed on. Shit.